Hello and welcome back. We are going to keep going through our mini-series in 2 Corinthians chapter 3. Today we are going to cover verses 9 through 11. So if you remember yesterday, Paul was talking about how it's kind of old covenant versus new covenant and the difference and like why we have so much more hope because of the new covenant in Jesus. So he continues with, if the ministry that brought condemnation was glorious, how much more glorious is the ministry that brings righteousness? For what was glorious has no glory now in comparison with the surpassing glory. And if what was transitory came with glory, how much greater is the glory of that which lasts? Now, I'm not going to lie. He basically says the same thing 3 verses in a row. He just says it differently each time. So that's why I shoved them all together in this one, because I'm like, Paul, I get it. He's re-emphasizing. And if people are re-emphasizing something in the Bible, we need to pay attention, especially if it comes in threes, right? If you have listened at all, threes are a big thing in the Bible. So here he is. He's like, okay, listen here. Let me lay it down for you. If the law, which was what God had given Moses, it actually brought condemnation. If you were a lawbreaker, if you didn't follow the rules, you were condemned. You had to give sacrifices and all this stuff. If that, the one that brought condemnation, was glorious, which it was, he doesn't disregard the law at all. He's like, it was glorious. He's letting people know, it was good for its time. But now that we have Jesus, now that this new ministry is here and it brings righteousness, why wouldn't that be so much better? Why wouldn't it be just abounding? It's one that lasts. The law, it expired. We are into a new one that has an everlasting love and an everlasting glory. How much greater is the glory that lasts? So he's just trying to reiterate and kind of drive home the point that yes, the old law was good. It was good for a time. It guided us. It helped us know exactly what we needed to be doing, when and how to approach God. Yes, it was so needed. We needed that because we were lost in the desert, kind of running around with chickens with their heads cut off, and it just was not pretty. God had to get a hold of us. But then he sent Jesus. We are living after Jesus died and rose again. We are in the new covenant. How much better is this? We don't have to worry about those old laws and following those specific rules. God has set us free from that. He fulfilled that through the new covenant, which was Jesus. And that's something to be confident in, right? Why can't we walk around confidently knowing that, oh shoot, I didn't, sacrifice that goat yesterday. I'm doomed. God's going to hate me now. No, Jesus was our sacrifice. He was the perfect sacrifice, the lamb that covered us and bought us at a price. And what an amazing thing to walk in. And that is what Paul is trying to remind the people of Corinth. He's like, hey, we live under this new one. We have got to live in the freedom that God offers us. So let's do that today for ourselves. Let's live in the freedom that God offers us, this glorious, glorious freedom. And we be confident in it because we've got Jesus, and man, he's everything.